ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं। हरिः ओम्। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्रिषे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं। हरिः ओम्। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्रिषे नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्रिषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिगं। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरा भक्तवृंद। এই তিন ঠাকুর গড়িয়াছে করিয়াছে না আত্মসাৎ, এ তিনের চরণ বন্দ তিনে মোরা নাথ। We're just waiting for Vrindavan Natwar Prabhu to join. We'll just wait for a minute and then we can start. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Okay. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। We are continuing our reading from Prarthana and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Canto 3. May the dancing of Sri Narottama's lotus feet, which is graceful with the melodious sounds of kartals and mridanga, and which is sweet with the honey of Lord Gauranga, fulfill the spiritual desires of me, his servant. So we are on song number 7, I think. Yeah. Prabhu, would you like to sing?
All right. Are we live?
Yeah, we are live.
Okay. Haha Prabhu Kordoya Karuna Sagara Michamaya Jalitanu Dahiche Amar Kobe Heno Dasha Hobe Saki Sangha Pabo Vrindavane Pulakanti Donake Porabo Sanmukhe Rohiya Kobe Chamara Dulabo Aguru Chandana Ganda Done Angadibo Sakira Gyaya Kobe Tambula Yogavo Sindura Tilaka Kobe Dona Keporavo Vilasa Kautuka Kelike Deki Bonayane Chandramukha Nirakibo Bosaye Simhasane Sadase Madhuri Deki Manira Lalase Koto Dine Hobe Daya Narothamadase.
I miss Nadia Nagaranita right?
Me too,
Yeah.
me too. At the end of each one, I want to start saying that. Anyway,
Okay,
please go.
translation. My body and mind burns in a network of material illusions. O Master, please be merciful and save me. When will I attain the association of the gopis? When will I string flower garlands in the forest of Vrindavan and then place those garlands on the neck of the divine couple? When will I meet the divine couple face to face? When will I fan them with a charmer whisk? When will I anoint their limbs with akru, sandalwood paste, and other fragrant substances? When, following the gopis' orders, will I offer betel nuts to the divine couple? When will I draw artistic tilaka, markings in red sindura on the divine couple's foreheads? When, with my own eyes, will I see the divine couple jubilantly perform pastimes? When will I see their moon-like faces as they sit on their thrones? My heart longs to see their sweetness. How many days must pass before they are compassionate on Narottam Das? Jai Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki Jai. Narayanam. Okay, we are on 17. Shrinvatam Sakatha Krishna Punya Shravana. Sorry?
We did 17 yesterday.
Yeah, 17.
We did.
Oh, we did?
Yesterday.
Let's do 18. Or did we do 18 also?
No, today is
Okay.
18.
Nasya prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishchiki. By regular attendance in classes on Bhagavatam and by rendering service to by regular attendance in classes on Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service onto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. You can do the second one.
As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of nature's modes of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and inquiry, disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in goodness, and he becomes completely happy.
Jai. We did till text 8. I think we have to start from text 8, yeah. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha.
We're in the second chapter.
Yeah, 3 to 8.
So you're on your screen now, the first chapter.
You want to start, Prabhu?
On the screen, it's the wrong chapter.
Oh, it's the wrong chapter, I'm sorry. Second. I think I got disconnected yesterday, right? That's why it's the wrong chapter.
Next thing. This universe with all its planets is most unfortunate, and even more unfortunate are the members of the Yadu dynasty, because they could not identify Lord Hari as the personality of Godhead any more than the fish could identify the moon. Srila Prabhupada's purport, Uddhava lamented for the unfortunate persons of the world who could not recognize Lord Sri Krishna in spite of seeing all of his transcendental godly qualities. From the very beginning of his appearance within the prison bars of King Kamsa up to his Mosala Lila, although he exhibited his potencies as the personality of Godhead in the six opulences of wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, the foolish persons of the world could not understand that he was the Supreme Lord. Foolish persons might have thought him an extraordinary historic figure because they had no intimate touch with the Lord, but most unfortunate were the family members of the Lord, the members of the Yadu dynasty, who were always in company with the Lord but were unable to recognize him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Uddhava lamented his own fortune also because although he knew Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he could not properly use the opportunity to render devotional service to the Lord. He regretted everyone's misfortune, including his own. The pure devotee of the Lord thinks himself most unfortunate. That is due to excessive love for the Lord and is one of the transcendental perceptions of viraha, the suffering of separation. It is learned from the revealed scriptures that the moon was born from the milk ocean. There is a milk ocean in the upper planets, and there Lord Vishnu, who controls the heart of every living being as Paramatma, the super soul, resides as Kshirodakshai Vishnu. Those who do not believe in the existence of the ocean of milk because they have experience only of the salty water in the ocean should know that the world is also called the go, which means the cow. The urine of a cow is salty, and according to Ayurvedic medicine, the cow's urine is very effective in treating patients suffering from liver trouble. Such patients may not have any experience of the cow's milk because milk is never given to liver patients. But the liver patient may know that the cow has milk also, although he has never tasted it. Similarly, men who have experience only of this tiny planet where the saltwater ocean exists may take information from the revealed scriptures that there is also an ocean of milk, although we have never seen it. From this ocean of milk the moon was born, but the fish in the milk ocean could not recognize that the moon was not another fish and was different from them. The fish took the moon to be one of them, or maybe something illuminating, but nothing more. The unfortunate persons who do not recognize Lord Krishna are like such fish. They take him to be one of them, although a little extraordinary in opulence, strength, etc. The Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 11, confirms such foolish persons to be most unfortunate. Ava jananti mam buddha manushim tanum ashrita. Text 9. The Yadus were all experienced devotees, learned and expert in psychic study. Over and above this, they were always with the Lord in all kinds of relaxations, and still they were only able to know him as the one supreme who dwells everywhere. Srila Prabhupada's purport. In the Vedas, it is said that the Supreme Lord, or the Paramatma, cannot be understood simply by the strength of one's erudition or power of mental speculation. Nayamatma pravachanena labyo na vedayana bahuna shrutena, from the Katha Upanishad. He can be known only by one who has the mercy of the Lord. The Yadavas were all exceptionally learned and experienced, but in spite of their knowing the Lord as the one who lives in everyone's heart, they could not understand that he is the original personality of Godhead. This lack of knowledge was not due to their insufficient erudition, it was due to their misfortune. In Vrindavan, however, the Lord was not even known as the Paramatma because the residents of Vrindavan were pure, unconventional devotees of the Lord and could think of him only as their object of love. They did not know that he is the personality of Godhead. The Yadus, or the residents of Dwarka, however, could know Lord Krishna as Vasudeva, or the super soul living everywhere, but not as the Supreme Lord. As scholars of the Vedas, they verified the Vedic hymns, Eko Devaha Sarva Bhutadvi Vasahat Antaryami, and Vrishninam Paradevata, The Yadus, therefore, accepted Lord Krishna as the super soul, incarnated in their family, and not more than that. 10. Under no circumstances can the words of persons bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord deviate the intelligence of those who are completely surrendered souls. Prabhupada's purport. Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, according to all the evidences of the Vedas. He is accepted by all acharyas, including Śrīmad-Sāgara Acharya. But when he was present in the world, different classes of men accepted him differently, and therefore their calculations of the Lord were also different. Generally, persons who had faith in the revealed scriptures accepted the Lord as he is, and all of them merged into great bereavement when the Lord disappeared from the world. In the first canto, we have already discussed the lamentation of Arjuna and Yudhishthira, to whom the disappearance of Lord Krishna was almost intolerable up to the end of their lives. The Yadavas were only partially cognizant of the Lord, but they are also glorious because they had the opportunity to associate with the Lord, who acted as the head of their family, and they also rendered the Lord intimate service. The Yadavas and other devotees of the Lord are different from those who wrongly calculated him to be an ordinary human personality. Such persons are certainly bewildered by the illusory energy. They are hellish and are envious of the Supreme Lord. The illusory energy acts very powerfully on them because in spite of their elevated mundane education, such persons are faithless and are infected by the mentality of atheism. They are always very eager to establish that Lord Krishna was an ordinary man who was killed by a hunter due to his many impious acts in plotting to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and Jarasandha, the demoniac kings of the earth. Such no faith in the statement of the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord is unaffected by the reactions of work, namam karmanidam vanti. According to the atheistic point of view, Lord Krishna's family, the Yadu dynasty, was vanquished due to being cursed by the Brahmanas for the sins committed by Krishna in killing the sons of Dhritarashtra, etc. All these blasphemies do not touch the heart of the devotees of the Lord because they know perfectly well what is what. Their intelligence regarding the Lord is never disturbed. But those who are disturbed by the statements of the Asuras are also condemned. That is what Uddhava meant in this verse. Shall we continue?
Sure.
But will you continue? Sorry.
Yeah, I can continue. Text 11. Lord Sri Krishna, who manifested his eternal form before the vision of all on the earth, performed his disappearance by removing his form from the sight of those who were unable to see him as he is, due to not executing required penance. Srila Prabhupada's purport. In this verse, the word avitir patadrisham. One second, what is this word? Avitir patadrisham. Okay, avitripatadrisham is most significant. The conditioned souls in the material world are all trying to satisfy their senses in various ways, but they have failed to do so because it is impossible to be satisfied by such efforts. The example of the fish on land is very appropriate. If one takes a fish from water and puts it on land, it cannot be made happy by any amount of offered pleasure. The spirit soul can be happy only in the association of the Supreme Living Being, the Personality of Godhead, and nowhere else. The Lord, by His unlimited causeless mercy, has innumerable Vaikuntha planets in the Brahma Jyoti sphere of the spiritual world. And in the transcendental world, there is an unlimited arrangement for the unlimited pleasure of the living entities. The Lord Himself comes to display His transcendental pastimes, typically represented at Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka. He appears just to attract the conditioned souls back to Godhead, back home to the eternal world. But for want of sufficient piety, the onlookers are not attracted by such pastimes of the Lord's. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that only those who have completely surpassed the way of sinful reaction can engage themselves in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The entire Vedic way of ritualistic performances is to put every conditioned souls on the path of piety. By strict adherence to the prescribed principles for all orders of social life, one can attain the qualities of truthfulness, control of mind, control of the senses, forbearance, etc., and can be elevated to the plane of rendering pure devotional service to the Lord. Only by such a transcendental vision are one's material hankerings fully satisfied. When the Lord was present, persons who were able to satisfy the material hankering by seeing Him in true perspective were thus able to go back with Him to His kingdom. But persons who were unable to see the Lord as He remained attached to material hankerings and were not able to go back to Godhead. When the Lord passed beyond the vision of all, He did so in the original eternal form, as stated in this verse. The Lord left in His own body. He did not leave His body, as is generally misunderstood by conditioned souls. The statement defeats the false propaganda of the faithless non-devotees of the Lord. Passed away like an ordinary conditioned soul, the Lord appeared in order to release the world from the undue burden of the non-living asuras, and after doing this, He appeared from world's eyes. Text 12. The Lord appeared in the mortal world by His eternal potency, Yogamaya. He came in His eternal form, which is just suitable for His pastimes. These pastimes are wonderful for everyone, even for those proud of their own opulence, including the Lord Himself in His form as the Lord of Vaikuntha. Thus, His, Shri Krishna's transcendental body is the ornament of all ornaments. Bhushanam Bhushanangam. Srila Prabhupada's purport. In conformity with the Vedic hymns, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam, the personality of Godhead is more excellent than all other living beings within all the universes in the material world. He is the chief of all living entities. No one can surpass Him or be equal to Him in wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge and renunciation. When Lord Krishna was within this universe, He seemed to be a human being because He appeared in a manner just suitable for His pastimes in the mortal world. He did not appear in human society in His Vaikuntha feature with 4 hands because that would not have been suitable for His pastimes. But in spite of His being as a human being, no one was or is equal to Him in any respects in any of the 6 different opulences. Everyone is more or less proud of his opulence in this world. But when Lord Krishna was in human society, He excelled all His contemporaries within the universe. When Lord's pastimes are visible to the human eye, they are called prakata, and when they are not visible, they are called aprakata. In fact, the Lord's pastimes never stop. Just as the sun never leaves the sky, the sun is always in the right orbit in the sky, but it is sometimes visible and sometimes invisible to our limited vision. Similarly, the pastimes of the Lord are always current in one universe or another, and when the Lord disappeared from the transcendental abode of the Dwarka, it was simply a disappearance from the eyes of the people there. It should not be misunderstood that His transcendental body, which is just suitable for the pastimes of the mortal world, in any way inferior to His different expansions in the Vaikuntha Lokas. His body manifested in the material world in transcendental par excellence, in the sense that his pastimes in the mortal world excel his mercy displayed in the Vaikuntha Lokas. In the Vaikuntha Lokas, the Lord is merciful towards the liberated or Nitya Mukta living entities. But in his pastimes in the mortal world, he is merciful even to the fallen souls who are Nitya Baddha or conditioned forever. The 6 excellent opulences which he displayed in the mortal world by the agency of his internal potency Yoga Maya are rare even in Vaikuntha Lokas. All his pastimes were manifested not by the material energy but by his spiritual energy. The excellence of his Ras Leela at Vrindavan and his householder life with 16,000 wives is wonderful even for Narayan in Vaikuntha, and is certainly so for other living entities within this mortal world. His pastimes are wonderful even for the incarnations of the Lord, such as Sri Ram, Narsimha, and Varaha. His opulence was so super excellent that his pastimes were adored even by the Lord of Vaikuntha, who is not different from Lord Krishna himself. Text 13. All the demigods from the upper, lower, and middle universe planetary system assembled at the altar of Rajasuya sacrifice performed by Maharaj Yudhishthir. After seeing the beautiful bodily features of Lord Shri Krishna, they all contemplated that he was the ultimate dexterous creation of Brahma, the creator of human beings. Srila Prabhupada's purport. There was nothing comparable to the bodily features of Lord Krishna. When he was present in the world, the most beautiful object in the material world may be compared to the blue lotus flower or the full moon in the sky. But even the lotus flower and the moon were defeated by the beauty of the bodily features of Lord Krishna. And this was certified by the demigods, the most beautiful living creatures in the universe. The demigods thought that Lord Krishna, like themselves, was also created by Lord Brahma. But in fact, Brahma was created by Lord Krishna. It was not within the power of Brahma to create the transcendental beauty of the Supreme Lord. No one is creator of Krishna. Rather, he is the creator of everyone. As he says in Bhagavad Gita 10.8, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarva pravartate. Text 14. The damsels of Vraja, after pastimes of laughter, humor, and exchanges of glances, were anguished when Krishna left them. They used to follow him with their eyes, and thus they sat down with stunned intelligence and could not finish their household duties. Srila Prabhupada's purport. In his boyhood at Vrindavan, Lord Krishna was notorious as a teasing friend and transcendental love to all the girls his age. His love for them was so intense that there is no comparison to that ecstasy, and the damsels of Vraja were so much attached to him that their affection excelled that the great demigods like Brahma and Shiva. Lord Krishna finally admitted his defeat before the transcendental affection of the gopis and declared that he was unable to repay them for their unalloyed affection. Although the gopis were seemingly anguished by the Lord's teasing behavior, when Krishna would leave them, they could not tolerate the separation and used to follow him with their eyes and minds. They were so stunned by the situation that they could not finish their household duties. No one could excel him even in the dealing of love exchange between boys and girls. It is said in the revealed scriptures that Lord Krishna personally never goes beyond the boundary of Vrindavan. He remains there eternally because of the transcendental love of the inhabitants. Thus, even though he is not visible at present, he is not away from Vrindavan for a moment. Text 52. Would you like to continue?
Okay.
Once.
15. The personality of Godhead, the all-compassionate controller of both the spiritual and material creations, is unborn, But when there is friction between his peaceful devotees and persons who are in the material modes of nature, he takes birth just like fire, accompanied by the Mahatattva. The devotees of the Lord are by nature peaceful because they have no material hankering. The liberated soul has no hankering, and therefore he has no lamentation. One who wants to possess also laments when he loses his possession. Devotees have no hankerings for material possessions and no hankerings for spiritual salvation. They are situated in the transcendental loving service of the Lord as a matter of duty, and they do not mind where they are or how they have to act. Karmis, jnanis, and yogis all hanker to possess some material or spiritual assets. Karmis want material possessions. Jnanis and yogis want spiritual possessions. But devotees do not want any material or spiritual assets. They want only to serve the Lord anywhere in the material or spiritual worlds that the Lord desires. And the Lord is always specifically compassionate towards such devotees. The karmis, jnanis, and yogis have their particular mentalities in the modes of nature, and therefore they are called itara or non-devotees. These itaras, including even the yogis, sometimes harass the devotees of the Lord. Durvasa Muni, a great yogi, harassed Maharaj Ambarish because the latter was a great devotee of the Lord. And the great karmi and jnani, Hiranyakashipu, even harassed his own Vaishnava son, Prahlad Maharaj. There are many instances of such harassment of the peaceful devotees of the Lord by the itaras. When such friction takes place, the Lord, out of his great compassion towards his pure devotees, appears in prison, accompanied by his plenary portions, controlling the Mahatattva. The Lord is everywhere, in both the material and spiritual domains, and he appears for the sake of his devotees when there is friction between his devotee and the non-devotee. As electricity is generated by friction of matter anywhere and everywhere, the Lord, being all-pervading, appears because of the friction of devotees and non-devotees. When Lord Krishna appears on a mission, all his plenary portions accompany him. When he appeared as the son of Vasudeva, there were differences of opinion about his incarnation. Some said he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Some said he is an incarnation of Narayan, and others said he is the incarnation of Kshirodakshai Vishnu. But actually, he is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishnastu Bhagavan Svayam, and Narayana, the Purushas, and other incarnations accompany him to function as different parts of his pastimes. Mahad Anda Yuktaha indicates that he is accompanied by the Purushas, who create the Mahatattva. It is confirmed in the Vedic hymns. Mahantam Vibhun Atmanam. Lord Krishna appeared just like electricity when there was friction between Kamsa and Vasudeva and Ugrasena. Vasudeva and Ugrasena were the Lord's devotees, and Kamsa, a representative of the Karmis and Jnanis, was a non-devotee. Krishna, as he is compared to the sun. He first appeared from the ocean of the womb of Devaki, and gradually he satisfied the inhabitants of the places surrounding Mathura, just as the sun enlivens the lotus flower in the morning. After gradually rising to the meridian of Dwarka, the Lord set like the sun, placing everything in darkness as described by Uddhava. 16. When I think of Lord Krishna, how he was born in the prison house of Vasudeva, although he is unborn, how he went away from his father's protection to Vraj and lived there incognito out of fear of the enemy, and how, although unlimitedly powerful, he fled from Mathura in fear, all these bewildering incidents give me distress. Because Lord Sri Krishna is the original person from whom everything and everyone has emanated, Aham Sarvasya Prabhuva, Janmadyasya Yata, nothing can be equal to or greater than him. The Lord is supremely perfect, and whenever he enacts his transcendental pastimes as a son, a rival, or an object of enmity, he plays the part so perfectly that even pure devotees like Uddhava are bewildered. For example, Uddhava knew perfectly well that Lord Sri Krishna is eternally existent and can neither die nor disappear for good, yet he lamented for Lord Krishna. All these events are perfect arrangements to give perfection to his supreme glories. It is for enjoyment's sake. When a father plays with his little son, and the father lies down on the floor as if defeated by the son, it is just to give the little son pleasure and nothing more. Because the Lord is all-powerful, it is possible for him to adjust opposites, such as birth and no birth, power and defeat, fear and fearlessness. A pure devotee knows very well how it is possible for the Lord to adjust opposite things, but he laments for the non-devotees, who, not knowing the supreme glories of the Lord, think of him as imaginary, simply because there are so many apparently contradictory statements in the scriptures. Factually, there is nothing contradictory. Everything is possible when we understand the Lord as the Lord and not as one of us, with all our imperfection.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताई गौर हरि बोल. Okay, Prabhu. Great. See you tomorrow.